Okay, so let's do the review for January 9th. Today it's a little bit different. I'm doing the review after market
Market
close.
data connection
We
lost.
had a very volatile day on Monday, January 8th, with the market pushing back up. It looked like from the first week of the year in 2024 that the market was breaking
Market
down,
data
but
connection
there was a kick
re-established.
save on Monday, and then today was more of a digestion day for that move. So let's go through the sectors and see what happened.
Market data connection re-established.
So this is the weekly chart. We can see that we were going to start breaking down last week from the 5-week moving average, but the kick save on Monday helped, and today was more of a digestion day, like I said. And you can see over here in SPX, this was the breakout earlier in December from this trend line here, and it broke out from the 4,500 range up to the 4,800 range. First week of January, we did have a pullback, and now it's taken you can see the AVWAP, the anchored VWAP, it's taken that back, and today that acted as support. So you can see how that could be helpful in figuring out when there is a change of trend. So we had a downtrend, and the price could not get above the AVWAP, and then on Monday it blasted through that level, and today it held it. Right, so we would remain bullish until this level is held, and more so the 5-week moving average is respected. You can see the 5-week, or actually this one, now we're on the daily chart, so this would be the 5-day. But if we look at the weekly chart, and the 5-week moving average is currently being respected.
Market data connection lost.
Currently closed the week, or the second day of the week, above the 5-week moving average. Although on Thursday we have CPI.
Market data connection re-established. Market data connection re-established.
Off of late, the market has started to not pay as much attention to CPI prints as it used to, and even people in general, I feel everyone was focused on CPI, PPI, those kinds of things mid of last year, all the way till about August or September, and then people stopped caring too much about it. But that being said, if the print is way out of line, then that could cause some volatility and repricing, especially in the Fed fund futures. Anyways, so enough talk about that. We are in the bullish area right now, and same with the SPY. So now let's move to the QQQs. We have taken back the AVWAP as well as the 5-week moving average so far this week. So that is also printing more bullish. And where can we run to? Well, the next immediate place, if you look at just the trend line analysis here, would be a move up to around the 420 range, right, for QQQ. All right. Then let's take a look at XLK. XLK rebounded. So we had drawn this out as a earlier in the first week of January as a place where potentially buyers and sellers could fight. And so far the buyers are winning this week with pushing back almost the whole move of last week here. So you can see how these consolidation areas can act as resistances when or supports when the price is approaching from the top, and resistances when price is approaching from the bottom. Okay, so XLK tech sector is also taken the AVWAP, but it has not taken, if you notice, it has not taken the 5-week yet. So a little bit weaker here than the QQQ, which has already taken the 5-week, and S&P as well. So yeah, tomorrow might be the day where it decides to do this and fill some of these gaps here. Let's just mark this gap as well, so we know from the close. Yeah, so we are approaching this gap level, which is also the bottom of which is resistance by the 5-week. Let's look at consumer staples. Consumer staples is moving into this where we had a previous week we had a rejection in the supply zone. So you see a lot of transactions have gone through in the supply zone. Not my favorite setup here because we have at any point when the market turns, all this supply could really bring XLP down at any point. It's hard to form a good trade with a proper stop loss in XLP, but we can take a look at what it looks on value at price to see if we can maybe get some better levels here for XLP. So yeah, so on the weekly chart here, the next immediate support would be the bottom of value here at 70.88, which is about 2 points away, and you could target the top of value here, 76.23 as the. But anyways, it's not for the consumer staples fans out there. This would be a possible trade, but it is definitely not my favorite setup for this week. Okay, let's take a look at SMH. So far, NVIDIA is having a blockbuster week. We can go through that when we look at individual stocks. But SMH has taken back the 5-week, which is a bullish sign. Today, it tried to fill this gap here, SMH, but it did get rejected off of that gap. So let's just mark this gap here in SMH. And you can see how price tried to get through that gap and got rejected today. So tomorrow we could try to retake that gap and close above. That would be a bullish sign for semiconductor stocks, including NVIDIA, AMD, and the likes of those types of stocks. All right. IWM, Russell 2000, small caps over here, could not take the 5-week. It tried to approach from the bottom, and the 5-week started acting as resistance, and then got sold off from there. If we take a look at the daily chart, we can see this was the end of last trading day of the year. We sold off the top of the trend line, and so far it's been a downtrend, and it's just started to make that curve up. You can see the moving average on the dailies. The 5-day has not curled up yet, and it's still pointing down, which means the trend, the short-term trend, is still pointing down on IWM, and so as well on the MDY. XBI is looking much better. So far, this is the weekly, right? Yeah. So far, we have a weekly close above where these two rejection wicks came through last 2 weeks. This week, we're able to push through using the 5-week as support. It is looking like a much better setup. XBI, something I've been watching and we've been watching together. But you can see that we are in a key area here with some rejection wicks pointing back in August of 2022 and the year of 2022. But overall, this is starting to gain some strength. It could obviously pull back and retest the 5-week here at the 88 mark. But so far, one of the stronger sectors. If we take a look at the volume at price here for XBI, we can see there is a clean breakout off the yearly value area. And so a weekly closure, which means a Friday closure of the weekly value area here, above the weekly value at 89 would be pointing bullish to XBI. Yeah. And then the next targets could be the 200 week, I believe, is up here, which is not the best setup in terms of moving averages. We can see that this has been kind of in a sideways pattern for a while. So the 200 week is setting up here. So $101 could start acting as resistance. We would need to blow through that to get to the next areas. You can see a lot of transactions taking place in this area, and we do have a VPOC here at the 128 mark for XBI. So I could see it if it closes week here. I could see it starting to kind of come up in the 100 level, consolidate, move further. And obviously, this is just prediction. We don't work on predictions. We don't trade on predictions, but we use it to maybe form theses and then use stop losses to protect when we are wrong, right? So anyways, so that is XBI here. IYT not able to take the transport's not able to take the 5 week yet, so we're gonna wait until that happens to see if there's not enough strength in that sector, and same with industrials, not able to take that yet. So these all are in red, the sectors that are not looking that great. My favorites are in green and yellows are also
market data connection lost.
They are above the 5 week. Maybe not my
market data connection reestablished.
How crowded they are right now, but those are still looking bullish. XLU utilities, we are still in this uptrend above the 5 week. You can see some distance from the 5 week. It's sitting at 63.67, so definitely want to close that this week above that to maintain that bullish trend. But XLU coming up with a similar type of setup where there is this big resistance box here, and because of which it's not my favorite setup. At any point, sellers could try to recommit and push this down. I would like to look for trades that have the least amount of resistance moving up. So, and that brings me to XLV. It's been one of my favorite sectors to start the year, and so far we've kind of cleared these previous highs here, which is a great sign. I would like it to close this week above these two highs, so I'm just going to put an alert here at the 139. I would like to see a closure of this week above these previous highs to maintain that bullish trend. But it could consolidate and try to come down and either bounce off the 5 week, or even sometimes a clean breakout. Doesn't always happen. So we have a breakout, a false breakout, followed by a retest of the breakout area, and then a final breakout. So that could also potentially happen here in XLV. If you want to take a look at where to put your stops on XLV, I think the cleanest place is either 5 week, as we keep moving up here. 5 week should be supporting this move up, so you can use the 5 week as support, or use the top of yearly if you want to give it more room to run. So use those as stops, I mean. Okay, XME not looking like the best sector. I'm gonna mark this in red. It has not taken the 5 week yet, and so far, I think it was down 1.45% today, whereas XLV finished flat. Some of the other sectors, XBI finished just so yeah. Like I said, today it was a bit of a digestion day, with not much. There was intraday volatility, but not much kind of happened at the end of the day today. XLF approaching this previous resistance over here, and it is kind of contesting that resistance. So we'd wait to see it move through that resistance to start getting interested. ITB, a better look. So we formed this, I think, based on a gap on the daily. Yeah. So there's a gap on the daily, which started acting as support here for ITB, pushing it above the 5-day moving average. So this is definitely a good move so far. What I'd like to see, if on an entry in ITB, say you enter at the 100.1 mark, I would like to see it hold the 5-day, and you can see the 20-day supporting it underneath as well. So definitely would like to see a
trading connection lost.
See the 20-day being supported here. Let me see if I can, So just adding an alert to see if ITB starts to fall through here. But yeah, looking like a good sector. Not my favorite sector to start the year, but it is in kind of setting up properly. And let's take a look at XLY.
Trading connection re-established.
So we still have not taken the 5 week yet, so no go in XLY still. IWC microcaps, we are the 200 week moving average is acting as resistance, and along with the 5 week moving average, they're together acting as resistance on the microcaps. So a move above here.
Market data connection lost.
113.9 mark for IWC microcaps.
Market data connection re-established.
You can see that we were in this upward channel all of 2022 and then 2023.
Market data connection lost.
Break down from that channel, and yeah, definitely looking weaker.
Market data connection re-established.
So now this is a thesis I have, but I'm not entirely sure. But I do follow USD CAD pairs pretty closely, and my belief is the CAD strength of Canadian dollar is also based on the strength of oil. Canada being a large oil producing
market data connection lost.
And so the
market data connection re-established
means the US dollar is getting more it's getting stronger compared to the Canadian dollar. So a move up here would mean the Canadian dollar is getting weaker, and that move down in XLE would support this move. So that's my thesis. I'm not 100% sure on it, but that's what I believe. If XLE keeps falling through these wicks here, then it could cause a move up in US dollar compared to the Canadian counterpart. All right, so I just added some alerts to kind of track the breakdown in XLE, and we would kind of switch back to a bullish stance if we retook this the trend line here and started getting into this range. That would be bullish for XLE, but we are a bit away from that. At 82, that trend line sits at the 98 or 100 mark. Okay, so that was the sector review. Let's just take a quick look at the watch list. Select a watch list. NVIDIA broke out very nicely here, and the weekly chart shows a move up to the 670, 680 mark. It can go, obviously not in a straight line, but it could definitely move up to those levels. It sounds almost unbelievable given that it started 2022 or 2023 at $150. It's almost going to be touching $700. So a really awesome move in NVIDIA. But yeah, so this breakout needs to be supported at the 506 level and needs to stay above that level. Tesla looking a little bit weaker today, and lots of lines here on my Tesla chart. I follow this pretty closely. We can see we broke down from this trend line here. We broke down on the week. But the week's not over yet. It's only Tuesday. So if we retake the 236, that would be maybe a possible kind of swing over here into at least the 270 range for Tesla, and a breakdown here from a closure of the week below this trend line here would mean that we're starting to maybe go into this zone. Maybe this would be a possible area where buyers and sellers have spent a week or two contesting, and so we could see a return down to the 215, 210 area for Tesla if we have a weekly closure below this trend line. All right, lots of stocks here, but some of my favorites. SYK is contesting for a breakout over here, so I have a close watch on that. Groupon, I like it's kind of moving up slowly, but if you look at the yearly chart on Groupon, we're just above the
market data
yearly
connection
value.
lost.
So and with drying up volume, I would like to
market
see
data
some,
connection
strong
re-established.
move up. And this stock does move. It's quite a mover when it decides to move. So I would like to see some volume coming in and supporting this move up in Groupon. ARDX is a killer, and you can see that it's almost made up this whole of this move from April 2021, where it was sold off in on volume.
Market
July.
data connection lost.
This huge move from $7 down to $1. It's taken its time.
Market data connection re-established.
And a bit more as well. ARDX. Interesting. I think it's a biotech stock, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a few others. I think today's video is running a little bit long already, so I'll close it here. But we will keep a close watch on this watch list here, and keep updating it and changing stocks as they become as they have better setups as we proceed through the week. Thanks a lot.